President Biden really caught a lot of people flat-footed on Sunday when he made that announcement right before 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon that he was dropping out of the 2024 race. And within the 48 hours since, Democrats have really rallied behind Kamala Harris, and the Biden campaign almost feels like a distant memory 2 days later. So what do you think President Biden's legacy is going to be?
You know, time will tell what Joe Biden's legacy is. I remember at the end of the Clinton administration, everyone thought forever he would be remembered by Monica Lewinsky because it was the last major thing that happened in his presidency. And at the end of the day, people remember that happened, but I think it's more of a footnote to his overall time in office. And with Joe Biden, I think in the short term, Joe Biden is going to be remembered for not handing the baton over soon enough. Unfortunately, that 90 minutes in the debate changing the course of history in this last month. And, as someone who essentially, it appears people in the highest levels of the White House could have engaged in some sort of a cover-up about his true, health and his mental acuity. And so I thought it was, Nancy Pelosi is the best politician of our lifetime. I don't say that lightly. The way that she engineered getting him out and also making sure that everyone praised him on the way out the door and saying, you're a real, an incredible American, you're putting this country over party. I think that they said to him, if you do the right thing by the end of the day on Sunday, you will get that hero's greeting. And so I think at the convention, you're going to see a lot of that. I would imagine there will be videos and speeches and saying, the Democratic Party does what the Republican Party doesn't do. We put the country before ourselves. But I think we would all be kidding ourselves if at least in the short term, his legacy isn't tainted by what's happened in the last 3 months.
And as you mentioned, the debate 3 weeks ago was the beginning of the end of President Biden's re-election campaign. How important is a debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump?
I think it's funny because I generally don't think debates matter that much unless someone scores a major point or somebody, has a major gaffe. And then we saw the debate a few weeks ago and all of a sudden, you're like, okay, debates actually matter. I think because it's going to be the first time they're on equal footing, it's going to be incredibly important. The bar was so low before. She is a prosecutor. She was in courtrooms. She was a district attorney. And so I think that, before you had Joe Biden, who could barely string a sentence together, and now you're going to have this very polished, articulate, strong woman who's used to arguing for a living. And what I'm more interested in is to see whether Donald Trump tries to wiggle out of debating her. If he tries to cancel the September 10th, which is the date, I think you're going to see a lot of people saying, what are you, scared of a girl? I think the dynamic is we're in such uncharted territories, but I think if he tries to weasel out of that debate, which I think that's what we should all be watching for, because I'm sure his advisors are saying you have nothing to gain there. She has everything to gain and you have everything to lose, but he's going to try to weasel out. But I think given the fact that he's going up against a woman, it makes him doing that hard for somebody with an ego the size of